this is the Galaxy Note 8, the successor to the Note 7, which was a great phone but sadly had an unfortunate end. But let's not talk on the Note 7 fiasco and quickly get right back to the Note 8. Starting off with the physical overview. SIM card slot and micro SD card slot can be found on the top. S Pen, single speaker, USB Type-C port, primary microphone and 3.5mm audio jack can be found on the bottom. Volume rockers and Bixby can be found on the left. Power on-off button on the right. The Note 8 inherits the infinity display from the Galaxy S8 in the S8 Plus. The Note 8 has 6.3-inch Super AMOLED Quad HD screen with 18.5:9 aspect ratio, 1440 by 2960 resolution and a PPI of 521. Always on display and HDR10 can also be found. Coming to the design, it's made up of 2.5D curved glass on the back and has Gorilla Glass 5 protection. The device is 8.6mm thick and weighs at 195 grams. IP68 certification continues to be on the list. Considering the Note 8's huge size and slippery glass back, it's definitely not ergonomic, so be careful while using it. If you closely look at the device, you'll notice that the device is rectangular unlike the Galaxy S8 Plus, which had curves on the sides. The Note 8 also has subtle curves but not that extreme as on the S8 Plus. Samsung could not resist itself from following the trend of the dual cameras, and fortunately, the Galaxy Note 8 happens to have the dual cameras, out of which one is a standard shooter while the other one is a telephoto shooter, just like the one found on iPhone 7 Plus or the OnePlus 5. Both the cameras are 12MP shooters, with the first one having a 26mm lens, f1.7 aperture, face detection autofocus, while the second camera has a 52mm lens with an aperture of f2.4, autofocus, 2x optical zoom. Both the cameras have optical image stabilization, which is absolutely fantastic, and not only that, Samsung also added a portrait mode of their own, which they call as a live focus, which is supposed to make your photos look like the one taken from a DSLR that has nicely blurred backgrounds, and you can also adjust that amount of blur you want in the background photo, which is quite convenient. I'll have more to say on that in a dedicated video. The rear-facing cameras can record videos at 2160 at 30 frames per second, 1080p at 60 frames per second, and 720p at 240 frames per second. The front-facing camera is an 8MP shooter with f1.7 aperture, and it can record videos at 1440p at 30 frames per second. The Note is not a Note without an S Pen. It has its own place on the bottom, which is absolutely okay. The pen itself is also waterproof and will continue to work underwater or when the screen is wet. Inside the S Pen Air command, you will find pretty much the same features found on the earlier Note: Smart Select, Translate and a few more. But a new feature called Live Message has been added, where you can send animated GIFs or GIFs to the people with cool little fancy filters just like the one on iMessage. Also, for you hardcore note takers, you can now write up to 100 pages on the off-screen memo without unlocking the phone, which I find quite interesting because I use that feature. Taking out the S Pen right away and start jotting down notes. But I don't know who's gonna write a 100-page off-screen memo. The Note 8 is running Samsung's Experience UI based on Android Nougat 7.1.1 with a planned upgrade to Android Oreo very soon. The Note 8 is powered by Snapdragon 835 or the Exynos 8895 chipset depending on the regions you live in. There's an upgrade in the RAM from 4GB to 6GB and a downgrade in the battery from 3500 mAh to 3300 mAh. Now, that explains why they did that. So guys, more videos on the Note 8 will be dropping on the channel. Make sure you are subscribed to Mr. TechTuber for more quality tech videos like this one. And with that being said, I'm signing out. You guys have a great day.